there you won't find any other types of oil or other grades of olive oil in this. So each year there's going to be a variation. Sometimes the oil will be more intense, it'll be more fruity, it'll be milder, it'll be softer, it'll have that intensity at the back of the throat, which is the anti-inflammatory. And I was explaining to you earlier, one way of judging whether the oil and its purity and the degree of extra virgin olive oil that's in there is that little bite you get at the back of the throat. And it doesn't matter if it comes from Puglia in Italy, from Liguria, from Spain, or in our area in southern Greece, central Greece, Lebanon. When you taste that little bit of bite, don't be alarmed. It doesn't mean that the oil is old or that it's gone rancid. The oil should have a slightly buttery taste, and you'll pick up different nuances depending on your palate. When an oil is off and it's flowing, you'll know it. When it's rancid, it'll just have that stickiness and that heavy sort of mineral taste. And that's what we're about here, is just trying to bring something that is authentic and that is pure and it's single source. One thing you'll see, the abbreviation PDO, which stands for Protected Designation of Origin, is like DOCG in wine. And it means that it's a single source and the name is protected, and those people follow certain exacting methods about not only how the olives in the fields are treated, but also about the production, the different types of olives that are used. It's all laid out. And you'll notice it more and more in food that you get from Europe, where they'll have this designation. It started off in the wine industry, like champagne, and they took great offense with somebody, say, from California or from Ontario, coming out with a champagne. You know, they can call it sparkling wine, but never champagne. And it just means that you're just getting an assurance of something being local. The big local movement that we have, whether you come to our market in North Gore on Saturday mornings, or at the Ottawa markets, or further east in Van Cleek Hill and those other areas, you get the producer right there. And that's what I'm all about here too, is because the oil comes from our groves, and when we don't have enough, we buy from the cooperative where all the olives are pressed in the village. It's not a big consortium, private enterprise, just small landholders working together. And the proof, I guess, is in the tasting. And what I'm going to do is pass some oil for you to taste raw. There's nothing in it except in this little glass container. Some of you will probably recognize it. It's actually Greek salad dressing. It's oil, lemon juice, garlic, oregano, and a pinch of sea salt. Very simple. And a lot of people, when they come to the North Gore market, say, "Oh, do you sell this stuff?" No, just go to our website, greekoliveoil.ca, and you'll find the recipe. It's simple. And I can't overemphasize, with premium olive oils, please use them raw as much as possible. You're not going to use these as your cooking oils, as Anna said. By cooking, particularly heavy frying, you're depleting the oil of all its nutrients, and it's making it more toxic, more acidic. And of course, the body doesn't like to be acidic. The body likes to be more alkaline. And the good thing about putting lemon juice in there, even though it tastes acidic on the tongue, lemon juice is alkaline forming in the body. It deacidifies, and bacteria diseases don't like an alkaline environment. And the two, great synergy, oil and lemon juice. It's in a lot of Greek dishes. You can just simply put oil and lemon juice on a dish, just splash them with a little bit of sea salt, swish that about, and then buy some fresh baguette, crusty bread, and just dip it in there, and a little bit of cheese and wine, and you're all set. And that's And that's how it should be. The simpler the better. We all know about the Mediterranean diet, Mediterranean cuisine. The whole idea is diminish the meats, use fresh ingredients from scratch, and more vegetable than meat in the diet. Less dairy, all the things that acidify, less starchy, less sugars. Getting back to the question about oils that come from Greece or oils that come from other countries, please experiment. Look at the labels. If there's an email address or a web path, inquire about the production of those oils. The other thing too that you can do is just check and see. Sometimes you get a description that it doesn't say, okay, it comes from Italy or it comes from Spain, but it doesn't tell you where, so it could be an oil that is an amalgam of oils from entire regions, they just blend them together. Like the biggest purchasers of oil from our village come from Spain and come from Italy. And Spain and Italy, Spain is the biggest producer of olive oil, followed by Italy. But Greece is third, but we're first in production of extra virgin olive oil. And blending is fine, but as long as they tell you it's that. The other thing, just the pitch for me, GreekOliveOil.ca is our website, and you'll get literature, you'll get recipes on there. You can find out where to find us, how to contact us. We're really almost a one-trick pony. It's a home business that we have. That's what Terra Foods is. It's me and my wife Carla. And I'll finish with this about the maintenance of the trees and the burning of the branches once we harvest. In the main harvest year, which is every second year, we prune the tree severely. And that does one thing, it makes it easier to bring the branches down and shake off the olives. The whole fields around the olive trees are just covered with tarps, and then as the olives fall, they gather them up, sack them, and then take them to the mill each day. The branches, once the olives are off, they're burnt on site. Some people, if they have goats and sheep, they'll keep some of the branches to feed to their animals. But the branches are burnt, and that's the main pest control, and also any fungus or other diseases that may affect the tree. They're burnt off, and I'm sure that's been going on for millennia. So it reduces, because farmers are very practical people. The cost of fertilizers and insecticides and pesticides and everything else, and fungicides are very expensive. So this has been one method that's used just to keep things in check. The other thing is olives grow on green wood. So if you do not trim, if you go east of here in Orleans, there's a big apple orchard as you enter into Orleans, and you'll see them in March. They'll be thinning out the trees, and that's because they want green wood. They want new wood for the trees to flourish, and it's the same thing with grapevines. You always trim them back, and there's lots of vigorous growths, and that's where you get your grapes. So it's those kind of simple old practices. And they do no harm to the trees, and there's no need to use harmful elements, harmful olives are simply crushed, then squeezed. You take out all the liquids, and then you wait for the oil to rise. I mean, that's how the process is. We use state-of-the-art equipment, which comes from Italy, by the way, because they're masters of mechanical engineering when it comes to olive oil equipment, olive oil extracting equipment. The process is there's a grinder, it makes the olives into a paste. It looks just like porridge, sort of purplish porridge. Then that sits and churns in this auger that allows there's a process called malaxation, and it's just helping to coax the oil. There's enzyme action that's going on, and it just helps start the process of the oil separating from the olives. And then through a high-speed centrifuge that sucks all the liquids out of the olives. They do that for the wine industry too. And then the last stage is this separator, which is really no different than, as I mentioned earlier, a cream separator for milk. It spins the liquids, the oil being lighter in density will rise to the top, and then they just scoop it off. And I have pictures in my